Hello, beloved. Guess what? Today is the last day of February, so I need to get moving. And I wanted to just show you what's happening already, what's going on, what's in place, what's already gotten ahead of me. And I know you see these goggles on my head because I'm about to do some more woodwork. But before I get started on that, I just wanted to share with you what's going on so far this spring. I'm kind of excited. So hold on and let me get busy. I'm going to just move without dragging you along for the ride and I'll show you what we have. All right, for starters, this is the hibiscus that normally has the large red flowers that are almost as big as my face. And because we're getting into the spring season, this is the time when I prune it back. So all of this that you see is going to get cut back. It's gonna go bye-bye. Next, I'll talk a little bit about how we moved a lot of things. So this was the sweet potato bed. It was further back over yonder. We moved that, Mommy and I moved that into this garden here. So in addition to moving that, we also switched some things up. I used to use this front area for lettuce, but I needed a place for the strawberries because we had to move that bed as well. So the rest of the bed that used to make up the bricks that made up the strawberries are lined up here on the side of the garden until I'm going to use them for something else. The strawberries went in here and a few of them went in the greenhouse. The blueberries are doing their thing. As you can see, they're flowering like crazy. So there's going to be an awful lot of blueberries coming up. So glad to see them taking off and doing well. I really need to get in there and do some pruning. And I'm going to take you over yonder. This was the other garden bed that was way back, and it was going horizontal. This was our turmeric and ginger bed that some of you watched me build. If you didn't, then I'll post a link to that video. So the nice thing about the fact that I'm not using mortar in these beds is I can move them. All the dirt comes out, the bricks move, the dirt goes back in, and it's all good. So you can see there's a mixture of onions and garlic in here. I did an experiment with planting this all up with garlic. I have the ginger in the house right now in a pot just for overwintering. I thought it might overwinter better there. Last year I did leave it out here in the winter and it was fine, but I wanted to try in the house. And the rest of there's more garlic back here in the greenhouse. Oh, we've got a few nasturtiums that decided to poke up out of the ground. This was the dirt from the front of the strawberry bed that used to be behind this garden. And some of the nasturtiums decided to sprout early, so I'm going to let them do their thing. I have more nasturtium seeds that I would like to plant, but that's all right. And moving on into the greenhouse, it looks like everything wants to grow in here. I have some cilantro that survived the winter. Didn't expect that to happen. It just sprouted right back up. We've got one collard green that wants to make me look good. And then in this bed, in addition to the weeds, which will come out, we have, these are fava beans right here. Let me see if I can get close enough for you to see one of the flowers because they are flowering. And I'm going to clean up some stuff in here, but you see the white flowers right there? And actually, I can't get close enough. Maybe they'll open a little later and I can come back out. But I've got some garlic interspersed in here as well. These are my almond trees that I ordered. I nearly killed both of them by putting them in the front of the yard in another spot. We'll talk about that another day. All right, we're back here in our mini orchard. I need to get some more trees back here. But this is our Bartlett pear, and you can see the buds are getting nice and plump. It's about to sprout. So we're gonna do good there. And it's a nice height. So I know that generally I should cut off. I should really prune those off at some point. But right now I'm gonna leave them, let this tree really get a jump start this year. And then I'll prune it back next year. And then over here is our summer crisp. And the cages are here so that the deer won't eat my little trees to death. It's just enough. These are just cattle panels wrapped around to just protect them a little bit from the deer. But this summer crisp, look at this. Look at this right here. Let me see if I can focus in on that. Beautiful budding that's taking place right there. So I don't think that's quite in focus. But again, full of buds, ready to go on the summer crisp. And then we also have the two dwarf Granny Smiths in the respective cages over yonder. Now this tree, I did come out and spray them all with neem oil. Let me get out of the shadow. I do spray them down with neem oil because, especially this tree, there are these furry type of aphids that will sometimes attack this tree and the other dwarf Granny Smith. And I just really want the trees to have a chance to grow. But both of them look ready to bud, look ready to go. Ready to go. I'm excited. We'll keep you posted as they grow along. And I'd like to get those almond trees out here in the ground over here to let them take off, hopefully, this year. And I've got some volunteer lettuce. When we moved the lettuce bed, all the dirt had to come out, and clearly the lettuce had gone to seed and seeded itself. So you see I've got a few little volunteer heads coming up, as well as, let me come back over here so you can see that. These are beets right here. A couple of beets that actually I transplanted those, and see another volunteer lettuce. These are some red onion seeds that we actually saved. These right here, the small ones. In the way back, that's a garlic. That's a garlic back there. But glad to see them sprouting up and doing well. So I've had some interesting experiments go well for me this year. The fava beans were planted, I want to say it was October or November that we planted those. And they're coming up nicely. So lots of good things growing around here. You can see my onions are ready to go to seed again. These are actually, those were green onions that came out of the kitchen. I thought they were going to die. And that's actually a split off of one of the bigger plants. Some really nice surprises. And we got our work cut out for us to get the rest of this garden going and greened up. The fig trees are back there, but they're not doing anything yet. So I'm watching them to see how they come back. And so far, so good. I think that's the most of what you can see. Oh, except for the daffodils. Way up yonder, you can see the little yellow specks up here. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you want to look good as a gardener, you want to feel good about yourself, and see something come up and just flourish without you having to do anything, plant you some daffodils. Trust me, it's a good deal. These are daffodils that were transplanted. They were growing in other places in the yard, and they have been since repurposed. You can see I have a hose going around this garden bed because we're going to put in a border, so I'm using the hose to mark it. But look at those. Aren't those gorgeous? They've been open for several days, and every time I see them, they make me happy. So I'll share some more stuff coming up, but thanks for stopping by. Keep it simple and be blessed.